What started my deconstruction from Christianity? I am glad you asked. It was actually a discrepancy between two verses that led to open doors of finding a lot more discrepancies. Now, before I share these two verses with you, I want to let you know that I was a very devout Christian, almost fanatically so. I was in church 3 to 4 times a week. Easy. I was a youth pastor. I was a stand-in preacher. I've read the Bible over 7 times. Back to back, knew the verses very well. I could recite them on point. I was very much into Christianity, prayed in all my free time, or was reading the Bible, was preaching, was out talking to other people about the Word of God. I was very much into this. So when I found this discrepancy, you can imagine, I went to great lengths to try to find out the truth about it. I spoke to Catholic priests, I spoke to Protestant preachers, I spoke to Jewish rabbis, I dug into the text, I read tons of literature, I had piles of books on the Christian faith that were written in favor of the Christian faith in hopes of finding something to instill my understanding and my faith and my belief in the Christian God, and those did not work. So with all that being said, the two verses that took me away from Christianity, the first one was 2 Samuel 24:1. It said, "And again the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, Go, number Israel and Judah." The second one comes from 1 Chronicles 21:1 that says, "And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel." These are two accounts of the same event, the same David, the same sin, the same result. And I was confused why one said that God incited David, and the other one said that Satan incited David. Now, the most honest answer that I received came from a Jewish rabbi who told me that God's wrath and Satan's oppressions were one and the same. They did not see a difference between God and Satan. God, when used in the Bible, was the benevolent, loving God that Christians get on their step stool and preach about, and Satan was used as the wrath of God. Now, you may be wondering why it is that Satan and God were considered the same, but much of it has to do with how the Jewish religion came out of the Egyptian culture with Horus. We can talk about that another time. But this led me to question, who's Satan? What is Satan? Why is Satan? And digging into every account of that use in the Bible and finding that Satan wasn't real, at least not in the way that the Christian myth would have you believe. So that is what led to my deconstruction. Those two verses, discrepancy between the two of them, and finding that what was being taught from Christian churches was wrong.